should regard themselves.
How powerful is that?
Very powerful, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful morning. This is the first day of Ficci Frames, guys, and it's going to be entertainment, entertainment, entertainment.
Absolutely.
And business, of course, with the wearable.
Yeah, a lot of knowledge, I would say, with the kind of things that we've lined up. I think we're going to have a lot of knowledge, and I'm actually looking forward to that.
Looking forward to it, guys, absolutely. So big round of applause for you guys as well. All right.
Sure. So we express sincere thanks to our valued partners, Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, Maharashtra Government, Gujarat, Jharkhand, Karnataka, Delhi, Kerala, Telangana, Prasar Bharati, Convention Partner Signpost, co-powered by Meta, Viacom 18, partners Warner Brothers, Tata Play, Intel, Fremantle, Netflix, Banijay, for their unwavering support at Ficci Frames 2024. Your commitment and collaboration have been instrumental in elevating our shared initiatives. Grateful for the synergy, we look forward to our continued success together.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you so much. थोड़ी एनर्जी हो जाए यार, मतलब पता है कि दो खूबसूरत एक्टर हैं इधर
और सुबह का इवेंट है यार, मतलब मैं तो बहुत एक्साइटेड थी कि आज मैं सुबह रेडी होके जा रही हूँ because we're so used to going in the evenings,
Absolutely. I think consider it an evening. We'll get you guys a drink a little later. It's on us. So round of applause for that, guys, at least. Yeah, an entertainment committee. Look at that. Now that's the energy that we need. Mr. Kevin Vaz, Chief Executive Officer, Viacom 18, Broadcast Entertainment. The list hasn't ended yet, guys. We would like to also call on stage a profound actor. The more I say about her, the lesser it is, to be honest. Low down, I take absolute privilege for this because we've also studied the same school.
Really?
We both are Cooperites.
Oh, wow.
In a bit, you guys will know who I'm talking about. So, ladies and gentlemen, can we also have on stage Miss Rani Mukerji? Round of applause, guys. And she's looking absolutely wonderful. Rani ma'am, welcome on stage. Can we also have on stage Mr. Ashish Kulkarni, Chair AVGC XR Committee, Ficci, on the stage, please. Mr. Munjal Shroff, Director and COO Graffiti Studios, ladies and gentlemen, for the lighting ceremony. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, our guests, we now have the honor of welcoming Mr. Anand Goenka, Vice President of Ficci and Vice Chairman of RPG Group, to deliver the welcome address just after the lighting is done.
मोबाइल वाले ने तो ऑन कर दिया.
Can we have all the dignitaries on stage, please?
We would like to welcome on stage Mr. Anand Goenka, Vice President of Ficci and Vice Chairman of the RPG Group, to deliver a welcome address as the Vice President of Fostering Economic Growth and Development.
Round of applause, guys.
Mr. Rani Mukerji.
Delegates and esteemed members of the media, and a very warm welcome to the 24th edition of Ficci Frame, the most definitive annual global convention on the media and entertainment. It is with great pleasure that we convene once again, uniting the brightest minds and leading voices of the media industry. Over the years, Ficci Frames has served as a cornerstone in influencing the trajectory. I welcome Shri Mangal Prabhat Lodha, Minister of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, Government of Maharashtra, who has graciously acceded to our request to inaugurate the conference today. I would also like to take this opportunity to extend my gratitude to Shri Sanjay Jaju, Secretary, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, and the ever-graceful Ms. Rani Mukerji, actor and respected voice of the film industry, for being with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, the Indian media and entertainment sector has witnessed remarkable growth over the past decade, especially with the rise of digital connectivity and platforms. The current rapid growth trajectory brings forth a wealth of opportunities alongside certain disruptive challenges. For instance, there is a surge in demand for regional content, as regional cinema now constitutes nearly half of India's film exports. This underscores its escalating prominence. At the same time, digital revolution has reshaped our industry. India's OTT market has been growing leaps and bounds over the last few years. As the industry continues to evolve, regulations around issues such as privacy, data security, and content monitoring needs to be fine-tuned. In an era defined by data, analytics, and artificial intelligence, industry stakeholders are increasingly leveraging data-driven insights for content creation, for distribution strategies, and audience engagement initiatives. Against this backdrop of transformative trends and industry dynamics, Ficci Frames assumes an even greater significance as the platform for dialogue, innovation, and collaboration. Over the next few days, we will have the opportunity to engage in thought-provoking discussions, gain valuable insights from industry luminaries, and forge meaningful partnerships that will shape the future of the industry. Let us seize this opportunity to inspire, innovate, and propel the media and entertainment sector to new heights. Thank you, and once again I would like to welcome you to Ficci Frames 2024 and hope you have a fruitful time here. Thank you.
For that insight and for your words.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, big round. He's quite humble, I must say, being the Forbes most talked about man, if I mistake not, sir. Thank you so much for your kind words. And moving on, guys. Next, I would like to invite Mr. इनके नाम में ही बहुत दम है, Mr. Kevin Vaz, Chair of Ficci Media, to present the industry address. Mr. Kevin Vaz, can you come on the dais, please?
Dignitaries, Shri Mangal Prabhat Lodha, Honorable Minister of Skill and Development and Entrepreneurship, Government of Maharashtra, Shri Sanjay Jaju, Secretary, Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, Government of India, Mr. Anand Goenka, Ficci, Vice Chairman, and Ficci and Vice Chairman, RPG Group, Mr. Ashish Kulkarni, Chair, Ficci, AVGC Group, Ms. Rani Mukerji, Mr. Munjal Shawaf, Co-Chair, Ficci, AVGC XR. my colleagues from the media and entertainment industry, and everyone in attendance here. A very good morning to all of you. It's both an honor and a privilege to stand before you today at Ficci Frames 2024. Here amidst this grand assembly, we celebrate not just the vastness, but the vibrancy and innovation that mark our industry as one of the largest and most dynamic media and entertainment sectors globally. On my way here this morning, I got a call from a friend from London who had seen Fighter over the last weekend with his family. And then he went on a short reminiscence of all the recent movies and shows that he had seen across and started gushing about them. This is quite common, right? But here's the thing. My friend is a Caucasian and he's personally been to India only once. And here he's talking excitedly about Indian content. That led me to reflect on this sector both on a global scale and within the Indian context. It's evident that we stand at a crossroads of unprecedented growth and transformation. Globally, the industry is witnessing remarkable shifts with digital innovations reshaping consumption patterns and content creation dynamics. The Indian M&E sector stands out in its unique blend of tradition and innovation, where tech-supported entertainment television channels, OTT platforms, AI newsreader-led news channels, hard copy broadsheets, marquee films, and short-form reels all not only coexist but are growing. In 2023, our industry witnessed a remarkable era of content creation, with over 200,000 hours of content produced annually. Indian content transcended international boundaries, captivating audiences across more than 160 countries, and topping some of the streaming global charts. In 2023, Indian content bagged out one but two Oscars for the best song and the best documentary respectively. Indian music talent bagged 3 Grammys recently. And 2 Indians, Ekta Kapoor and Veer Das, won prestigious international Emmy Awards. This shift indicates a new era where local flavors and stories are embraced by audiences worldwide, showcasing the universal appeal of Indian stories and our storytelling. The integration of digital technologies in the Indian M&E industry is at scale without parallel among the community of nations. Driven by accessible and affordable internet, with commercial 5G services rollout propelling the growth of the Indian M&E, we must recognize the virtuous cycle of investments in creativity that drive the expansion of affordable internet in India. We can be proud of the fact that Indian companies, Indian creators, and Indian producers are at the forefront of the digital content revolution, be it in films, music, or gaming. Platforms like JioCinema have revolutionized sports viewership in India, offering accessible and affordable access to live matches like the IPL. This goes to show the importance of internet accessibility in driving growth for the media and entertainment industry. Unlike other industries, media and entertainment has caught the digital transformation wave early and stand ready to reap the benefits with supportive developments in the all-critical triad of infrastructure readiness, consumer market growth, and enabling public policies. The surge in digital media is foremost to propel the M&E sector growth at 10% annual rate, reaching 3 trillion Indian rupees by 2026. Technological innovations have brought with it a paradigm shift in consumer preferences. Consumers are now more demanding. They demand more personalized, interactive, and immersive content. This creates another facet for growth of the entire digital media segment, including online curated content, digital advertising, online gaming, to name a few. Each of us need to reflect on how these preferences will change the way we think about the future of media and entertainment, and the business models most suited to respond. To navigate the future, all of us at various intersections of the industry need to adopt innovative strategies and create engaging content across multiple platforms, leverage data analytics, collaborate with global partners, and explore new revenue streams. Despite the digital boom, traditional media in India is also experiencing a steady growth, showcasing India's diverse media consumption habits. While this may appear to be a paradox when viewed from a singular global lens, this is the truth of India, a market of and not all. On the journey of 2023, it becomes clear that it was a year marked by challenges and triumphs. The first half was subdued, with modest growth rates across various segments of the industry. However, as raw material prices stabilized and marquee events like the ICC Cricket World Cup and assembly elections unfolded, we witnessed a significant uptick in the second half. And while the M&E industry is estimated to grow at 10% CAGR through the next few years, led by digital, traditional mediums such as television and print are also poised to grow. This growth underscores the enduring appeal of linear TV, particularly among established advertisers who value its unmatched brand-building capabilities at scale. It's essential to acknowledge the continued significance of traditional media, including television, print, and outdoor advertising, in reaching diverse audience segments, especially in regional markets. The road ahead for the industry is brimming with possibilities and challenges alike. The integration of artificial intelligence promises to reshape the landscape of content creation, distribution, and consumption. But the 24th edition of India's largest media and entertainment symposium, and it just gets bigger and better. So kudos for the team for scaling it up consistently. Thank you all.
Refreshing to get such in-depth knowledge from you, sir.
Ma'am, oh my God, the crush just keeps multiplying. I'm sorry. Please, ma'am, welcome here. We would love to hear from you some words for us.
Rani ma'am, are you comfortable on the dais as well? Yeah, please. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, Rani Mukerji!
That fell upright.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, everybody on the dais, all the respected people. Firstly, I'd like to congratulate all of you guys and thank you for coming on the first day, and I'm very happy to be part of the inaugural festival. It's an absolute pleasure to be here with such distinguished guests and all the friends here and thought leaders of our industry. Thank you, Ficci, for having me here at the inauguration ceremony. Like every year, this year too, Ficci Frames will set the agenda for our ever-changing media and entertainment industry, and I'm honored to present my viewpoints regarding the same. The last few years have witnessed a rapidly dynamic environment for content. The pandemic forced us to adapt, to innovate, and to reimagine the ways in which we connect with audiences, because the consumers evolved too and wanted us to deliver something unique and disruptive for them. Cinema, with its kaleidoscope of emotions and its timeless narratives, has long been a source of joy, inspiration, and unity for millions around the globe. I'm truly thrilled that the theatrical business is back, and mega entertainers like Pathan, Jawan, Gadar 2, Tiger 3, Animal, Leo, Salar, Jailer, Ponniyin Selvan 2, Valtair Viraya, Carry On Jatta 3, RDX have created box office history in a single calendar year, where it pulled people and audiences to the theatres. So huge round of applause to all these films. We have witnessed a myth-busting landmark year in cinema. Pathan, as we all know, released during a phase when the Hindi film industry was recovering post the pandemic, and a lot of single-screen cinemas had or were shutting down. The film released on Wednesday, 25th January 2023, and became the highest-grossing Indian film in a single language, and became the first film to collect 1,000 crores at the worldwide gross box office, only in the Indian language. And I congratulate my industry for turning the tide and showing the world that Hindi cinema cannot fall prey to social media trolling. We have to constantly work hard to deliver better experience to audiences, and my industry is geared up to doing just that. It has also been a year where underdogs won. Those who questioned the status quo won. The fact that everyone was made to believe that content films wouldn't work well theatrically and should be restricted only to the OTT was busted by some of the content movies that released in 2023. Be it films like Mrs. Chatterjee vs. Norway, 12th Fail, The Kerala Story, Oh My God 2, the language films like Bhaipan Bhari Deva, Teenikka, Kabuliwala, Kathal, The Core, 2018, Virupaksha, Kannur Squad, Chitta, Balagam, Nehru, Baby, Ardhangini, etc. busted the myth that only big-scale projects would work in the cinemas and that content-driven films could disrupt the box office. So a huge round of applause to all these films. It was a year when larger-than-life patriots charmed and conviction of storytelling came to the forefront. For me, creatively, Hindi cinema has seen an incredible disruptive year. I would like to personally congratulate all the artists, the directors, the producers, the technicians, and everybody for taking the chance and making these films and successfully bringing the audiences back to the theatres to experience the pure joy of watching cinema on big screen. It will push us to take greater risks, be more front-footed, and of course, hunt for stories that tug our hearts. I thank you again for inviting me to this prestigious event, one that was started by my late father-in-law under the chairmanship of Mr. Yash Chopra. And I'm so happy that today I'm here after 24 years living his dream. As an artist devoted to my craft, I hope and continue to contribute to films that capture your imagination, which stay with you forever. So thank you for accepting me for so many years and believing in my talent and loving me for the last 27 years. My journey would have been incomplete without all of your contribution and your love for me. So thank you once again, and I really hope that Ficci Frames keeps growing bigger and bigger and bigger. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for inspiring us as always.
Yes, बहुत कम लोग होते हैं जो इंडस्ट्री के बारे में इतनी अच्छी तरह बात कर सकते हैं, दिल से बात कर सकते हैं, मुझे ऐसा लगता है, और बहुत कम लोग होते हैं जो मुखर्जी. So it's an absolute honor to have her with us, and without further delay, guys, say that thank you so much for removing time, your precious time, and your father-in-law, but even your father has been such an inspiration for all of us. Leader is one of my favorite films. Obviously because of Dilip Saab as well, but also a fan of cinema because of Ram sir. So thank you so much for having a wonderful chat with us. Thank you so much, ma'am. Now moving on, guys.
And at the same time, we spend close to about 5 hours every day on our smartphones. And bulk of it is also being spent watching the content given to us by this segment. The size of India's media and the entertainment sector, as per the report given by Ficci and Young last year in the 23rd edition, was estimated to be reaching close to about 2 lakh crores. That's the size of the segment. That's the size of the industry. And the digital media segment is witnessing a growth of close to 30% year-on-year.
Signed for Sripath Astekar, Chairman and Managing Director, to join us. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Mr. Sripath Astekar, Chairman and Managing Director, and Mr. Ashish Birwani. Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much. All right, without further delay, guys, this is the event.
Honorable Secretary of Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, Government of India, Sri Sanjay Jajuji, Vice President Ficci, Mr. Anand Goenka, Ms. Rani Mukerji, Mr. Kevin Raj, Mr. Ashish Kulkarni, Mr. Manjush Rao, डॉक्टर बाबा साहब अम्बेडकर की कर्मभूमि पर आप सबका मैं महाराष्ट्र सरकार की तरफ से मन से हार्दिक स्वागत करता हूं। फिक्की is doing everything to support the government and fill gap of the government working. For all who need the support, for all who need the hand holding, and all who want to move forward. Actually, Ficci is working as a shadow government. You are who's who of the country. आपके कंट्रीब्यूशन के बिना और आपके पार्टिसिपेशन के बिना आज भारत वहाँ पर नहीं होता जहाँ पर भारत आज खड़ा है। मैं अब जब संजय जाजू से स्टेज पर बात कर रहा था, बहुत सीनियर IAS ऑफिसर हैं, भारत की सरकार चलाते हैं, तो उन्होंने एक अच्छा सेंटेंस कहा, उनकी परमिशन से मैं कोट करना चाहता हूँ कि 100 साल में कभी कोई एक बार महात्मा गांधी आता है इस देश के अंदर, दुनिया के अंदर, और ऐसे ही 100 साल के अंदर एक ऐसा व्यक्ति, युग पुरुष नरेंद्र भाई मोदी जी इस भारत को मिले हैं जो कि भारत को बहुत ऊंचाइयों पर लेके जा रहे हैं। आज भारत की इकोनॉमी बहुत तेजी से आगे बढ़ रही है और उस तेज दौड़ती हुई रेस के अंदर आप खड़े हैं। आप जहां भारत को आगे ले जाने में बड़ा रोल करने वाले हैं, वहां आपके साथ में आपको देखकर भारत सरकार भी बहुत सारी अपनी पॉलिसी बनाएगी। मुझे इतना जरूर समझ में आता है कि आप अपने बिजनेस की चिंता करते हैं, अपने स्वयं की चिंता करते हैं, पर साथ में समाज की चिंता भी करते हैं। इसीलिए आप फिक्की के मेंबर बने और इसीलिए आप यहाँ पर आए और समाज में उन लोगों को जो कि आज उतने लकी नहीं है जितने आप और मैं हैं, उनको आपके सपोर्ट की, आपके ब्लेसिंग्स की बहुत जरूरत है। माननीय मोदी जी जब कहते हैं सबका साथ, सबका विकास, सबका विश्वास, तो वो केवल एक नारा नहीं है, वो भारत की आत्मा है और उस आत्मा को साकार करने के लिए केवल मोदी जी या कुछ सरकारी अधिकारी सक्सेस नहीं हो सकेंगे। यदि हम चाहते हैं कि भारत विश्व की 3 विकसित अर्थव्यवस्था में से आए, तो उसमें जब तक आपका विश्वास सरकार के ऊपर नहीं होगा और आपका साथ सरकार को नहीं मिलेगा, तब तक हम उसको समय रहते हुए पूरा नहीं कर पाएंगे। और इसके लिए फिक्की का बड़ा रोल है। आज का विषय एंटरटेनमेंट का है, इंफॉर्मेशन के डिपार्टमेंट का है, पर चूंकि मैं बेसिकली एक बिजनेसमैन भी हूँ, इसलिए अपना प्रोडक्ट भी जरूर मार्केट करूँगा और मेरे पास में स्किल डिपार्टमेंट का काम है। तो मैं आने से पहले पंकज जी से पूछ रहा था कि यदि इरिलीवेंट नहीं हो तो मैं थोड़ा सा 2 मिनट लोगों को स्किल के बारे में जरूर बोलना चाहूँगा। और अभी हमने सुना कि संजय जाजू जी ने भी भारत की सारी इंपॉर्टेंट बातों के साथ में स्किल का भी रेफरेंस किया। तो आने वाले समय में स्किल और अपस्किलिंग इस भारत का फ्यूचर है। दुनिया का सबसे युवा देश भारत है और ऐसे समय के अंदर स्किल के बारे में आज भारत के अंदर बहुत सारे बच्चे ऐसे हैं जो कि डिग्री लेकर हाथ में घूम रहे हैं, पर उनके पास ना तो रोजगार है, ना उनके पास में सरकार की सुविधाएं हैं। और ऐसे समय में फिक्की के लोग यदि इसको सोशल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी के रूप में अपने काम में, आपके पास में ऑलरेडी स्किल डिपार्टमेंट का स्किल से संबंधित आप लोगों ने एक ब्रांच खोल रखी है, मैं आप सबसे आज महाराष्ट्र गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से, इसके डिपार्टमेंट की तरफ से रिक्वेस्ट करना चाहूँगा कि आप आपकी ज़रूरत की स्किल्स को बताइए, फिक्की के मार्फत से बताइए, हमारे साथ में आप आइए, हम आपके साथ में मिलकर बहुत सारा अप स्किलिंग का काम कर सकते हैं।
Very kind words.
We would now like to invite Mr. Ashish Kulkarni, Chair of the AVGC XR Committee at Ficci, whose visionary leadership and dedication has been instrumental in driving
all the dignitaries on the dais, Shri Mangal Prabhat Loraji, Sanjay Jajuji, Rani Mukerji ji, Anand Goenka ji, Kevin Vaz ji, and my colleague Munjal Sharaf, and all the dignitaries that I can see in all the rows of the audience. And a special thanks to all these people who have been standing for the last 1 hour. Sorry, we have an overwhelming response, and I think the estimation of chairs, and that shows your love for Ficci frames. And what can I really say? We are blessed to have, somebody among
Session actually, which is going to be reinvent and navigating the future of the media and entertainment industry. So please don't. Thank you all the dignitaries. Thank you so much, guys.
I think we should transition to our next session.
Absolutely, ladies and gentlemen.
नहीं मतलब इसके बाद हो पहनने के बाद इनका रुको रुको हाँ ठीक है
I request you all to be please seated. We are just moving on to our next session, please. Navigating the future of media and entertainment industry, I would request Shri Ashish Firwani, partner, Ernst & Young, Shri Sanjay Jaju.
Rani, you've had this incredible career. You've been working for I think this year you complete 27 years in the movies.
Yes.
I counted as a leading lady, you've done roughly 45 films. I'm not counting the guest appearances, the friendly appearances. You won 8 Filmfare Awards. You had a full career, and it doesn't look like you're in any mood to slow down, as you shouldn't. Your last film, this is Strategy versus Norway, was a film that broke that myth that female-centric films won't work at the box office in a post-pandemic world. Those films were not working. Those content-driven films were not making a mark theatrically. They were all mostly moving to streaming, and here was a film that came and did significant business at a time when those kind of films were not working. They were the tentpole action films that were only working at that time. If you could attribute, Rani, your success and the longevity of your career to one quality, what would that be?
I think that one quality would be having faith. To have faith in the audiences, to have faith in yourself. The fact that we have to constantly work hard on ourselves to improve ourselves with each growing film or with each growing day. I think that's been my motto, that whatever film I have done, I need to better that in my next film. And to have faith in the audiences that they will give you an answer, whether good, bad, ugly, great. They are the real critics, so to say. And for them to tell us what they are liking, what they are not. And the audiences are the ones who actually tell us what the trend of the mood of the public is like. What are they kind of accepting? what are they talking about, what are they wanting to spend their hard-earned money on which content, you know. And they are the ones who tell us and decide our longevity.
You know, it's very interesting what you said. You said faith, and that brings me to ask you, when, it's no secret that when Mrs. Chatterjee versus Norway was ready to be sort of shown to the world, the producers had offers from some of the big streaming platforms to go straight to digital, to go straight to streaming. That was the safe option at the time. Theatrically, those films were not working at the box office, but you all stuck your necks out. You all had the faith, and you all were rewarded in the end. I want to ask you, what sort of, where did that faith come from?
So interesting.
It's not just about having faith that we made a good film. It's also about having the faith that people will come.
Yeah. So interestingly, when Mrs. Chatterjee was offered to me, it was offered to me in the pandemic time. But for some reason, I was very sure that when the film releases, it has to be a theatrical, you know, and that was put in my contract. So also the makers were in a position, a little strange position, because when you put that on a contract, then they're bound to do what is meant in the contract. But I, at one point when there was so much discussion happening, at one point I did tell my makers that though you have this in the contract, I would not enforce it or stop you from wanting to do a digital platform, because as a producer, I want to be with you and I want to support my producers in the sense that if you feel that that would be a better business decision for you, then might as well. Because a lot of films that started pre-pandemic, in the pandemic time, they just decided to release it on OTT.
Yeah.
But this was a film offered to me in pandemic. I had put this contractual clause that I need this to be a theatrical because I believe in the story. I believe that this film should reach out to as many people. Not that if it would stream on OTT, it wouldn't reach to a lot of people. But I think when a film releases theatrically, it has a lot more, I would say, excitement in terms of there is more a commitment from an audience that they decide to go, make a plan to go to watch the film as opposed to being at home and getting the content easily at home. It's like appointment viewing. So for me, I think that is a industry that I've grown up in. I've started my career in that industry, and I thought that my film should have a theatrical release. But I still gave that option. But I think somewhere the producers also garnered that faith during when they saw my passion, saw the film, and they said that, no, Rani, we want to go with your passion, we want to go with your confidence, and we will be. And I feel that is applaud-worthy, because even after me telling them that they have the right to veto my contractual clause, they still said that we will respect the decision, and we will have, because we have faith in the film, we will go for it theatrically. Especially Z producers, like they were distributing the film, they were headlining it, Z and Eme. They both were hand in hand, and I can only be very eternally grateful for them that they took this step, and I can have to thank the audience that they came in big numbers to see my film. So I'm grateful for both the involvement of my producers and my audience. So thank you, audience.
But Rani, what do you think of streaming as as a medium today? It's a very vibrant medium. Many of your peers, many of your colleagues, many of your juniors are working in both long form series and in films that are made straight for streaming. Is that something that interests you?
Of course, I think any medium that has great content would always interest me, because when I select a film, I'm always looking for that one story that I want people to know, or it's a story that has not been given that much traction when it came, a real life story, or a story of an inspirational woman, because I've always tried to portray strong women characters, bring the strong Indian woman on a global platform and tell people that here we are, this is what Indian women are, you know. And through my career I've done that for the last 27 years. So I'm always looking for that story or that subject or that character that drives me, you know, and something that I can take inspiration from. Because I feel that if I take inspiration from a character, and if that character is inspiring me for me to play the part, I'm sure it will make a mark minds as well. Because there are a lot of youngsters who look for this kind of inspiration. When I was at an age when I was growing up, I was looking for such inspirations through real life people, through real heroes, through cinema, through characters, through books, you know. So these are things that we look for, you know, probably conditioning ourselves as teenagers, taking inspiration and making our journey feel special along the way, you know. So we need these characters, we need these strong women characters who we can connect with. And also stories that are hidden, you know, if we can spark a conversation through these films, or if we can tell people that this is what is going on and give it importance, I think it makes a huge difference.
So you're saying if the right story came along or the right material came along, you're open to doing like a long format series?
I think I'll be open to do anything that excites me as a person and as an actor. I've never followed any norm. I've never, I don't know, it has been instinctive in my way that I don't like to follow a kind of pattern that I'm supposed to be following. But I like to follow my heart, and whatever my heart leads me to is something that I've always done. You know, when people say that, is there a secret to how you select your films, or is there something that drives you? I think it's just my emotional core. You know, something that I kind of relate with, because if I have to spend time with a particular subject for, you know, 100 days of my life, I have to be very passionate about it.
And the first place is instinct? The first thing is instinct?
Yes. Instinct, because if I hear a story or if I hear a character that I instinctively feel connected to, you know, and that character is speaking something important or saying something important that is talking for women, you know, I think that really excites me.
Rani, after all these years, has your process of picking films changed?
Yes, of course. Because when I was in my 20s or in my teenage years, there were different reasons I did films. It was not the same process that it's now, where you're reading scripts and you're taking decisions. There were times when the director or producer would just tell us just one line thread story, you know, and we were accepting roles just on those bases. There was no story, there were no dialogues that were given to us to prepare beforehand. It was just a simple thread ki story जी ये है कि ऐसा ऐसा होता है और ऐसा ऐसा होगा और फिर end में ऐसा ऐसा हो जाता है. So it was just a beginning, mid and end. And there wasn't like a conscious effort to even convince us.
Bound script, so there was no concept.
No, because it was like, अच्छा आप नहीं करेंगे तो कोई और कर लेगा. So we've also been through the time where we were like, I was just accepting films that my parents were like, okay Rani, today you have to go to Film City. अच्छा कल आपका फिल्मिस्तान में है और आज आपको यहाँ पे शूटिंग कर रही है और वहाँ से आपको उधर जाना है. So I've also been through an age where I didn't know better. You know, I think wisdom comes with age. So I think when I started to receive fan mails, because at that time social media wasn't there, we wouldn't know instantly. We were not told what people were liking or people were not liking. There were these letters that used to come, and through my letters I started to realize what my audience wants out of me, what they like about my work, which film they liked, which film they didn't like. It was more in my letters that I read. And then I realized that, oh my God, something that I'm taking as a means to an end for me. Like I'm trying to earn probably the jam and butter for my family. But what people are giving me is much more than that. They are making me part of their families. They're making me part of their existence. They're actually taking my character seriously. So I think at that point I got more serious. And I said, okay, I think I need to choose my characters more carefully. And that's when Satya happened. And that's when I realized that there is much more to just going to a 9-to-5 job or a 9-to-9 shift, so to say. There is much more than just wanting to get back home. So I was this young teenager doing my job. So for me, I used to want my time back home. So I used to be the happiest person when they used to say pack up. You know, and that was my teenage years. Those were my young days. You know, where I was, waiting for the director to say, okay, Rani, your work for today is done. And I was like, okay, I need to go back home, But then times changed when I used to be wanting to be on a film set, longer than the required time that I've given, because I want to be part of the filmmaking process. I want to spend time with my director. I want to spend time with my technicians team. I want to know the process. So it's been a time when I've also evolved with my films. Like I've grown up in cinema. They could say that I'm their child. Like I've literally grown up with so many directors, so many technicians where they've seen me. You've seen me. Young Rajiv, we were together on a flight where we were going for the Gulam premiere, and you've seen me when I was 18 years old, and now you see me now in my 40s. So you see, you've seen me evolve. So there are so many people who I've grown up with. I have learned so much from my seniors, from my colleagues. It's just been a learning process, and believe me when I say that, the learning never stops. It is a learning that we have to continue. We cannot confidently say that we know it all. Like how many ever number of films you do, how many ever, successes you have. But there is the nervousness, there is the excitement with each release, there is nervousness with each release. There is a sense of learning with each film, with each character, with each people who we meet new and we learn from. So it's an ongoing process.
Rani, I want to zoom out a little bit. While the last year was a good year for the Hindi film industry, there were films that did very well. I think it's fair to say, and I think most people would agree, that we've seen a lot of films from the South perform exceptionally well. We've seen a lot of, and just some of the examples are, of course, Pushpa and Kantara and KGF, and filmmakers like Rajamouli and Atlee and Sandeep Vangareddy, they've got their finger on the pulse of the audience in a way that maybe a lot of the Hindi filmmakers, just the volume of Hindi filmmakers that used to have it, don't anymore. What do you think the South filmmakers and the South industry is getting right?
I think, in most cases, I would not say all.
Sure.
They want to listen still to what the audiences want. Somewhere down the line, maybe when there is so much evolvement in cinema, when cinema is evolving and everybody's trying to cater to a diverse kind of audience, sometimes you lose in touch with the popular, I would say, popular or the massive want of an audience to see simple storytelling, as opposed to storytelling which is more diverse or more evolved or more for a certain section of audiences. So I think maybe they are still very simple at heart, and they are probably connecting with the simple storytelling that the audiences want from the filmmakers, and that's what they're recognizing and they're doing. I have worked with a lot of South Indian filmmakers in my career, and I've learned a lot from them. The most fascinating part about the South industry is what I see is that there's a lot of unity. They stand together, they support each other. Like I see so many of these events where, directors are going for each other's, music opening or their films announcements, and they're standing together, and also actors, where they stand. And of course it happens in our industry as well. But I think learning, as I say, the beautiful part is when you talk to them, they say that they've learned from us. And when you talk to us, we say we learn from them. And it's always a give and take, And what's beautiful here is that Indian cinema is learning and looking inwards now. In the middle, they should say that, cinema is inspired from the West, or people are copying the West, or they're getting inspired from the West. Today, it's so nice that people are getting inspired by their own, because we have to make films that have to cater to our audience, and we have to listen to the voice of our audience. So it's wonderful that we are taking amazing feedback from one another. We are getting inspired by each other, and we are helping each other to be the best versions of ourselves.
Rani, you're at this incredible vantage point where you're not just one of the top actresses in the industry, you're also married to one of the biggest studio bosses in the industry. That vantage point allows you to have this view of what are the challenges today involved in making films, where the entertainment and the film landscape is headed. Now, as someone who has that vantage point, as someone who has that perspective, what needs to change for the film business to thrive again?
So I'll give you a small anecdote, a little story. I think people will be, I don't know. So I'll say this during the pandemic time. So Adi had these couple of films that were to be released, the really big films, which were the commercial pot boilers, as we say, which started obviously in the pre-pandemic time. And obviously, unfortunately, when pandemic started, there was a question mark on all the films. And that's the time where I observed my husband closely, because there was no talk of films releasing. And of course, there is a business point of view where each film needs to release at a particular time for it to be able to sustain the cost that it has incurred for the film. And I remember Adi saying that, and there was a lot of pressure on filmmakers to release all these films on OTT. And a lot of filmmakers were doing that. Their biggest films were releasing on OTT. And I see my husband completely calm and composed, and he was like, with so much conviction. So I would use the word conviction that my husband had, and he said, you know what? These movies were made for theatrical, for the audiences at large to enjoy, and I would want to release these films theatrical. He was being offered a lot of money to release it on OTT, and it was a complete business call where it would be a win-win situation for the OTT platform and for the producers, where he was making profit just releasing it on OTT. But there I see my husband taking this brave call and saying that no, I would not release any of these films on OTT, because I believe in the power of Indian cinema, of what it does theatrically. And in time when the films came, all of those films flopped. Because post-pandemic, the whole way audiences were watching content changed overnight because of OTT. And the kind of content they saw globally, just everything changed. And all these films of his that failed at the box office, and he took a complete hit commercially, because none of the films did well, and it was like complete depression. People were sad in our company, and that whole conviction that Adi stood with, that no, my movies will release theatrical. We thought that there would be some divine intervention, and that he would be rewarded for his conviction of releasing films theatrically, and everything kind of didn't work for us. And then came Pathaan, and Pathaan changed the entire thing forward, Yashraj, and it became the highest grossing film. So, जब भगवान देता है, फिर छप्पड़ फाड़ के देता है. He just tests you and sees that how much courage you have. And I think Adi had that courage, and I completely, as a colleague of his, I completely salute that, because that I thought was commendable. So when you ask me what are the things, what needs to change is, I think filmmakers need to have more faith in the product that they make, and they should believe in what they make, and they should stand with each other to make that change, And today, Pathaan stood the test of time, and that just opened the floodgates for people going into cinemas, And today, again, the times are like we're talking like how we spoke in the pre-pandemic time,
Yeah, we've gone back to the to some degree to the glory days. Might be a bit optimistic, but
normal days. Let's say the normal days.
Okay. Rani, you were only 18 when your first film came out. When you look at this Gen Z bunch of young actors, do you feel like they could take a page out of, your generation's book, or do you feel like you wish you had their savvy?
So as I already told you about my start, I was clueless.
I'm kind of certain that this generation is not much more clued in, even if they think so.
No, so I always feel that when we as youngsters come into the industry, we always look up to our seniors, or we look up to people who have had more experience than us, to basically learn from them. I'm sure this generation Some of them do want to take a leaf from what we did, but I think because cinema is always evolving, things are always evolving, the kind of filmmaking is like evolving, or the way films are made is evolving. Sometimes it gets difficult to actually take a leaf from anybody's career, because you have to shape your own career the way you deem fit, you know. So I would say that things for them are much tougher today because they want instant gratification through social media. They are also always worried as to what will happen even after a conversation they would have in a public platform. So everything is scrutinized much more, and everybody's on tenterhooks as to not make mistakes. And luckily for me, because I'm not on social media, I don't know what's going on, so I say whatever I have to say.
You know, that was going to be my last question. Social media is such an almost integral part of an actor's toolbox today. I mean, they use it to promote their films, promote themselves. It's also a revenue driver today. How do you resist the temptation to not be on Instagram?
Because I have a bunch of amazing fans of mine who keep promoting me all the time. Whether or not I promote myself, they are constantly doing that for me. So I'm very lucky to have a great fan following and my dedicated fan groups who keep me alive through this generation as well and remind people who I am. I obviously don't do many advertisements, so obviously I'm not there in the faces of people or on television all the time. So yes, my films kind of do that work for me. Also because I like to keep a very simple life for myself. I just feel the more we get engaged in different things, we have to give it our best. That's the way I am. And I would like to do things where I can give my 100%. Maybe for social media, I would not be able to give my 100%, so I don't want to take that extra burden, that extra load of what I need to do. So I feel the way it's going is great. The fact that people went to see my film, Mr. Chatterjee vs. Norway, makes me happy that they still recognize me and they still know me, and they still want to see my film, which is amazing. And I would continue to keep wanting to push the bar, keep wanting to push my boundaries as an actor, and it's always great to keep waiting for that one role or that one character to come by which inspires me and which will inspire generations to come. Yeah, so that's something that I keep waiting for.
Well, one expects nothing less than that from you. Rani Mukerji, thank you so much. Thank you for the movies, for some incredible performances over the years. And your time's up. I really must say on behalf of the group that you really inspired us, you've entertained us over the years, and you don't stop, and you shouldn't stop. Cannot wait to see what you do next.
Thank you, and thank you to all my audiences over the years who have actually given me so much feedback about my work, about my films. Though you all don't know how much it makes a difference in our lives, it does, because we do read it, we do understand, you know, what you like, what you don't like, and for us it's always a learning to know what we can do to better ourselves, to actually better our films. And to tell you frankly, everybody in our industry is working day and night to just get some kind of entertainment in everybody's life. So we are working really hard for that. And thank you for being our support through the years. Thank you very much.
Thank you everybody. Thank you Rajesh sir. Thank you Rani ma'am. पूछना चाहता हूँ क्योंकि जब मैंने यहाँ फिकी फ्रेम्स की शुरुआत की थी तो यश सर जैसे आपने कहा he's been such an inspiration for all of us and been part of this journey for Ficci Frames. आदि सर कब आएंगे यहाँ स्टेज पे? उनको कैसे लाया जाए?
वो तो आपको उन्हीं से पूछना पड़ेगा.
मतलब मैं पीछे भी ये सवाल पूछने को मुझे मना कर रहे थे. मैं बोला एक बार तो मैं मैम को पूछूंगा क्योंकि बिग बॉस की जैसे आवाज सुनाई देती है and he's such an entity larger than life and the man with the plan. So is it possible आप रिक्वेस्ट करेंगे हमारी तरफ से?
No, I think वो actually 27 साल पहले I think वो बाहर आए थे. फिर 27 साल बाद वो रोमांटिक्स में बाहर आए. अभी वापस 27 साल बाद शायद वापस अपना चेहरा दिखाने आएंगे.
ऐसा तो नहीं कि बाहर आपका इंतजार भी कर रहे हैं. But ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause for Rani Mukerji. Just a photo op, please. Both of you, individually and yes, thank you.
हर साल तो होता है बट इसमें मेजर सिग्निफिकेंस ये साल क्या है?
आई थिंक एवरी ईयर, क्योंकि मैंने पहले की भी बहुत वीडियोस आई, ऑब्वियसली वी ऑल एक्टर्स वी ऑल फॉलो फिक्की एंड द वे दे हैव ग्रोन ओवर द इयर्स। और अब 24th एडिशन में जो मैं आई हूँ, मैंने होस्ट किया है अभी, सो इंसाइटफुल। यू नो, हम आई थिंक एज एक्टर्स या आप बोल सकते हैं हम इंडस्ट्री में अपने आप को बहुत ज़्यादा अंडरप्ले करते हैं। वी आर एक्चुअली कंट्रीब्यूटिंग अ लॉट ऑफ मनी टू द इकोनॉमी ऑफ आवर कंट्री। यू नो, एंटरटेनमेंट बिकॉज पैंडेमिक के बाद जितना बूम आया है हमारे इंडस्ट्री में, the way the content is being bought all over the world. You know, Indian content is famous everywhere. And the way I think, जब numbers हम सुनते हैं ना, हम जब set पे shooting करते हैं, घर जाते हैं shooting करते हैं, because we know कि हाँ यार हम लोग इंडोनेशिया गए, वहाँ पे किसी ने पहचान लिया, केन्या गए, वहाँ किसी ने पहचान लिया, but we don't realize that actually we are reaching and actually generating a lot of money. So entertainment industry actually it's so nice and it's a feeling of pride, you know, जितना वो numbers बता रहे थे या जहाँ जितनी भी discussions हुई पैनल या जो रानी मैम का जो एक बहुत ही अच्छा सेशन था, जिस तरह से वो बता रही थी, her experience is obviously beyond all of us, and like I said, I have a crush on her. I think it's amazing. You know, हम अपनी इंडस्ट्री को बहुत ज़्यादा अंडरमाइन करते हैं, तो एक्चुअली हम अपने नेशन के ही इकोनॉमी को कितना बूस्ट कर रहे हैं. So we should give ourselves a pat on the back.
आफ्टर कोरोना OTT प्लेटफॉर्म्स, तो आप कभी OTT प्लेटफॉर्म्स में अभी नज़र आएंगे कभी इन फ्यूचर, क्योंकि आपके फैंस कनेक्टेड तो रहते हैं इंस्टाग्राम से आपसे?
बिल्कुल. मेरा एक अभी आई थिंक रिलीज पे है विद अ वेरी वेरी गुड एक्टर, अनदर एक्टर दैट आई रियली लुक अप टू, लाइक रानी मैम. मेरा वो रिलीज हो रहा है, और बाकी 2-3 वेब शोज़ की बात हो रही है. एक्चुअली उसी के लिए मैंने अपना ये ट्रिप मुंबई में किया, बैंगलोर, एंड let's hope that I have something nice to share very soon.
And also Women's Day, तो क्या कहना चाहोगे women's empowerment about?
I think women empowerment is about taking a decision, which is yours. You know, it is. हम बहुत डरते हैं. You know, अभी हम कहते हैं कि हम बड़े इवॉल्व हो गए हैं, बहुत आगे आ गए हैं या दुनिया आगे बढ़ गई है, लेकिन फिर भी आई थिंक औरतें जो डिसीजन लेते हुए या आगे बढ़ने से पहले डरती हैं, चाहे वो सोसाइटी हो या ट्रोलर्स हो या जो भी हो. एंड आई थिंक एज अ वुमन एंड आई स्टैंड बाय द स्ट्रेंथ दैट आई हैव एज अ मदर, एज एन एक्टर, एज अ प्रोफेशनल, दैट it's all about strength and women are very, very, very much. Just stand for the right and just move ahead.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.